Styrene Slingers, Bodacious Rods and Customs here with the final update / reveal of the 68 Charger named Street Outlaw. Put this kit together over the last few months, and a lot of you guys have been keeping up with it, and I love all the great comments and suggestions and help and tips that we've put together over the last couple of months on this particular kit. This one has been an adventure, to say the least. It's been the most ambitious build I've built to date. Everything I've done up to this point has been some degree of box stock with very minimal modification whatsoever. I built a 64 GTO not long ago that had a little bit of modification to it and was the first engine wiring job I'd ever done. And I wanted to take it up a notch or two on this one and do some custom scratch building, some gizmology, and really figure out more about how to get good shiny paint. As a rule, I think it's a good thing that you should be able to do is get good paint. So the 68 Dodge Charger RT 2-in-1 kit right here, and here's the final reveal on the Street Outlaw. So I'm going to give you guys a quick walk through, a little walk around on this build and outline some of the details that I did with it, and back at right here with the 68 Charger as seen from the rear. Some of the details that I wanted to do on this particular car were I wanted to enhance some of the interior stuff, not so much by cluttering it up, but by giving it some uniqueness. So I went ahead and from the inside out, you guys can see it, we did our Lenco style shifters. We've got our Photo S steering wheel. Alright, now we can zoom in without having any trouble. Awesome. Alright, cool. As you can see back here, we put our hood on a little stand. I wanted the hood to be displayable and neat looking without actually being mounted to the car, because when it's all said and done, it doesn't exactly fit so well. Some of you guys have this same kit and might notice the same thing. It fit most of the time while I was building it, so it was a bit of a shocker that it didn't work out the way I'd hoped with the hood, except for the fact that because I think I tubbed the rear end so dramatically, it's putting a little extra pressure on the rear quarters, possibly causing it to pinch in the front. Anyway, what I was going to say earlier was the paint scheme. The paint scheme specifically, the smoked out black and blue flip-floppy type color, was inspired by a Count's Customs GTO build that Denny the Count out of Vegas built. And I saw the color and I was like, look, that's the one right there. So I went ahead and I found a nail polish color that was very close to what I saw on TV, and it's by Sally Hansen here. It's called Teal Steel. I introduced this color earlier, so just as a rule, I like to kind of keep track of what I painted these things with. Anyway, so that's our color paint. And as we do a basic walk around, you can kind of see some of the details on the engine. I went ahead and wired it. I also wired the ignition, going all the way back to the dual batteries that are riding inside the cab. We went ahead and scratch built the supercharger and the supercharger hat, and that was fraught with all kinds of complication to get that to really look good. And I'm not 100% happy with it, but I am pretty happy with it because it's pretty sweet looking, especially in the pictures and such. It really does it justice. I had to modify the way that the radiator is mounted, and I used bass guitar strings as my radiator hoses, which as we get closer to the interior, that engine bay, you'll be able to see. You can see that we've got a fuel line run to the back of the supercharger, and we'll see the injector set up a little better as we get around the other side. We got the straight pipes on the bottom, and we blacked out the rims. The wheelie bar and 4-link suspension is all completely scratch built, with the exception of the transaxle. As you can see through that mirror image, you can see some of the detail on the bottom. I didn't do a whole lot of detail on the bottom just because I wanted this car to really pop up on the top and when you look down in the engine bay. From this angle, you can actually see how the radiator is mounted a little bit. Let me get up higher. You can kind of see how that radiator is tucked neatly down in there in the front of the car. That was a trick. That was probably one of the more challenging last minute things that I had to do, because so much of the vehicle was already up in color. As you get this look down the back of the car, you can see the fire extinguisher. You can see the remainder of the wheelie bar in the back. I actually used the extra engine mounting bracket. Had those wheels on it, and they were perfectly in scale and looked good, so I went ahead and used them. These are the MH Racemaster Tall and Wides aftermarket parts from AMT for the rear tires. And the front tires actually were a pair of extra tires that came from my 64 GTO kit. They just had a better look. All the rims came off of the 64 GTO. These are the backup rims, if I'm not mistaken. They were more or less stock rims for the 64 GTO, but they looked great on this particular car that had that mean racer look that I was looking for. And I'm real happy about the way it came out. We blacked out the grille, and once again you can see a little bit better down into that engine bay as I zoom in here for this next pass. You can see the fuel rail, fuel supply as we get down in there. You can see the radiator hoses. Excuse the bumps. There's something about when you wire an engine that makes it just look so much cooler, so much more complete. And we'll go ahead and flip this guy over, give you a look at the bottom and a quick tour from front to back on the bottom. We did a custom exhaust based on the 4-to-1 headers that came with the kit. Ran a fuel line, runs all the way to the back. Did this 4-link, real springs in there. And like I said before, there's not a whole lot to look at on the bottom. But this is a race car, so most important thing to look at is the taillights. Anyway, once again, I want to thank you guys all for watching my videos. I want to thank you guys for participating in this build by giving me all these great suggestions and comments. I want to send a special thanks out to Dr. Cranky for all his inspiration. The trove of knowledge in his Rats, Rods, and Rust book. If you don't have it, go get it. It's a phenomenal read. And after you've seen a few of his videos, you can actually read it and hear him talking to you through the book, just coming from the heart and sharing that dramatic passion that he has for them. Thanks again, Dr. Cranky. Your help has been unbelievably indispensable when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm really proud about this build, and I can't wait to send out some photos of this one specifically. And again, Andy X, thank you for your help. You shed a little bit of light on the clear coating process and doing my windshields, and I'm so glad. As you can see in some of the pictures, they came out real clear. Brew Crew, Patrick Hancock, Heath, I appreciate you, man. You guys are always good folks out there doing great jobs and keeping the inspiration going. Chevy Cheeseburger, way to go, brother. Let's see, Ted's Modeling Technique out there. He had seen this video a long time, or he had seen this car way off in its early stages, and just by the simple comment on YouTube, he pointed me in the right direction and really inspired me to take this thing to the next level. I want to thank my lovely girlfriend Kathleen. She's a beautiful, amazing person, and she supports me so much to do things like this and keep my hands busy. And my family for being supportive as well. So yeah, guys, here it is, 68 Charger Street Outlaw in its final glory. This one's going to be put up in the box here shortly into a safe place, and I'm building a shelf to display it on. This one in the GTO will find a nice honored position in our living room. And we'll be on to the 41 Chevy pickup here next. I've got that one ready to go into paint and primer with a very small amount of scratch building left to do on that. And I will have more videos on that one coming up as we go. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this build, and I look forward to sharing a whole lot more with you. So thanks again. Bodacious Rods and Customs out. Keep slinging that style.